Spencer,
Yes.
I have an idea for a podcast. The podcast is starting off with the two of us,
Yeah.
obviously. And
Who's over there?
camera guy.
Okay.
And it's going to revolve around a lot of style, obviously because of what I do, and kind of because of your background also, and which you don't know about yet, but we'll find out. And creatives in general, people that have a creative either personality or they have a creative career, creative passion. And we've talked a little bit, even though this is completely coming out of nowhere. We've talked about a little bit of ideas, like talking about people that deal with hats, people that deal with different types of clothing, people that have a passion for different styles of things, whether it be shoes or coats or pants. Like everybody, a lot of people have their own style, like something they're really into. Like, man, that guy always wears the coolest pants. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I know a guy that wears a lot of cool shoes that I wanted to do like a sneaker.
Oh, right. Yeah. I do remember that.
A sneaker episode with. So I think it'll be, and we talked about like a chef and, our friend that owns a women's store, the women's clothing store in West Greenville, and another friend of ours that makes the dresses and the gowns. And so have a lot of fun talking to people and educating people about what we have here locally in Greenville, West Greenville, South Carolina. I mean, there's some people that I've seen through social media that are in Georgia that I think would be fun to talk with. But I sent you the message when I got out of the shower to tell you the idea before I talked myself out of it, and you seem to be really excited about it too.
Yeah, when you told me the idea, I just thought, okay, well, when are we going to start?
Yeah,
because it's not a do you think I should do this? It's a when should we start this?
Should we start it now? I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and mainly I think this will provide a lot of value to people, just because kind of like we know some really interesting and great people, and every time I have conversations with clients or even friends, I have a conversation with you, and it's about this conversation something I learned from somebody else, and I just thought, why not record these and put them out there so other people can enjoy them too? Because I know I enjoy the hell out of learning about somebody else's passion.
Yeah.
And I just think that would be really cool to share. And then it'll cause me to even think, all right, well, who else do we know? Or what haven't we done yet? What can we learn about now to share with other people?
It's a constantly evolving and revolving door of not only thought process, but what are people doing? What are people into? What are people passionate about? And some of them will be a little more outlandish than others, but I think overall, there's just a lot of cool people. I think that, I don't want to say deserve to have their story told, but I just think would be really cool to show some of the people that we know that other people might not know about. And I just think this person is completely sold out and passionate about what they do for other people that makes me excited for that person.
It's I think we all feel similar, where we get excited listening to what someone else is passionate about, because it's almost inspiring. And if we have something we relate to it. We're like, I feel that way about what I do. I love that you feel so passionately about what you do. Yeah. And I think it really will be. Plus, that's why while you were saying that, I've had conversations with people recently, and I think this is another good thing, because a lot of times you or I or someone else, they feel passionate about what they do, but they feel weird about promoting themselves. They feel weird about posting, a lot on social media, talking about what they do. They feel like it's so much self-promotion and feels like they just feel weird doing it. Even though they should do it and people want to see it, and I feel that way sometimes too. I just think, who am I to think everybody needs to list like, hey, this is what I have to say today.
It feels weird to go, hello, I'm awesome.
Yeah. So I think that's another thing that will be good, because a lot of those people, like kind of what you said, and I think their story does deserve to be told a little bit more. And I think I would enjoy doing that for them, to where they could just sit down and have fun having a conversation, and I can just be the one going, "You're awesome. Let's tell people why."
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
And I think the more I think about it, the more I look forward to all these conversations and all these recordings. And so we started this first episode was to do what we're doing now. Tell all the people about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and also to introduce ourselves.
Now let's do this.
You're Spencer L. Stanton.
Yes.
You have a business card that tells us right here you're a photographer.
That's me.
Yep. You take pictures of things. You do some video, hence the unplanned video setup right now that we did not do on purpose.
Impromptu.
Yes. So you take pictures. You do a little bit of video.
Yep.
You've done it as long as I've known you. I've known you for over 20 years now. When did you start with photography? When was your beginning? Because you've done it as long as I know you.
I think as far back as I can remember, I think I was 4. I think I was 4 years old when I had a camera. And I don't know where, I have the picture, but I don't know where it is right now. But I have a picture of me in a recliner, and I'm taking a picture of my father taking a picture of me. And that's my furthest back memory of having a camera.
That's kind of impressive to have that specific memory from that far back.
You think?
Yeah. To be able to say, hey, when's the first time you held a camera? I was in my mother's womb. And
I took my own sonogram.
I reached out and pushed the button on the sonogram machine. I mean, that's pretty far back to go back to 5 and say, I remember sitting on this chair back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So you took the first picture at 5. We'll say 5.
Say 5.
We'll say 5.
Something like that.
And your grandfather was an influence. Yes.
He had a camera. He was a enthusiast. He had a camera and a couple lenses. And he saw that as I got older, that I was increasingly interested in it. Mm-hmm. And he gifted me his equipment, which was an Olympus 35 millimeter, and it had this really cool leather satchel. Is the best word I can think of to describe it. And it was really cool. And he set me up an account with a local camera store so that I could have film purchased and developed through that account. And he was going to take care of the bill as long as I kept a ledger and was responsible and kept track of every single thing. And I showed him that ledger once a month. He would take care of the bill.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, he was an awesome guy. He also built me and my brother a sword and a shield so we could beat each other up with them.
With wood.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. Here, go in the yard and beat the crap out of each other.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I got my sword.
Did you stay and keep it? Did it stay as a hobby in your life through high school?
Yes.
Really?
My first job was at that camera store.
That makes sense.
So he said, you work there now, so you can develop your own film, and you can purchase your own film. So you no longer need me. But yeah, that's at the time that I started to work at that store. He took care of everything.
Okay.
Somewhere while I was working at that store, I began to take cameras apart to clean them and replace the springs or the gears or polish the mirrors and do all the stuff people would bring their cameras in for.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, a filmmaker hired me as one of his camera guys. And on one occasion, we showed up to do some work, and he said, I only need one camera operator today, which is himself. Mm-hmm. He said, here, take this film camera.
That camera?
Yeah. Take this film camera.
Really small film.
Go candid capture. Go look at some details and capture some things. And that was the first time that I became really passionate to capture images for other people. I've always been fascinated by photography itself and how the camera works, but it was around, I think I was probably 15 or 16 at that time, because I took the first pictures at that wedding, that I thought, man, this is so cool. These people are going to love it. And it just made me want to do more. And I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing. Look at this cool thing. Look at this. And I was just all the time everywhere, and I was running out of film constantly because it was film, and you could only take so many pictures. Yeah. And then I had an older, seasoned veteran, 30-year vet of shooting weddings on 35 millimeter. Mm-hmm. And he really taught me the quality, not quantity aspect, because you only have a limited amount of shots, and every time you run out of film, you have to waste time to wind it, load the new film, get ready to shoot again. So that's time that you could be surveying the scene to look in what you're doing. So he really taught me that, and I still to this day think, yeah, I'm digital. I can take 3,000 pictures on this memory card, but I don't want to do that. Yeah. I just want to take whatever that moment is, whatever's best for this scene, however I can show that person to look the best, in the most efficient way possible.
Yeah. I like that, and I have, just from my experience of past photography stuff, it makes a difference to go for quality over quantity, because I think a lot of people do starting out, start with taking a lot. Just push the button every time you turn around, push the button. Mm-hmm. And then you have 300 images when the people end up choosing 12.
Right.
And I've noticed that in your work that you do, the longer you've done this, the fewer images it takes you to capture what you want.
Yep. The longest part of anything is the setup nowadays for me. So it took me, this example of this gold room that we're looking at, this gold room, it took me about 8 days to find the props, paint them, and assemble what this looks like. And we only shot in here for about 45 minutes.
8 days for 45 minutes of work.
Yeah.
So how long ago was it when you started phasing out and changing the trajectory of your photography work?
When I ceased weddings as my main focus?
Yeah.
I was really passionate about weddings. Some people get really nervous and say, oh, but you only have one chance. You can't redo it. You can't ask them to do it again. But I never saw it as that. I always saw it as, this is this person's moment in their life that they will never get back. So I'm giving it 150%. I'm giving it all I got for you because I know how important it is to you. And I think for me, it was a creative shift, not really monetary, but the the trade of time for dollars in, let's say, a commercial job versus a wedding job, the money's about the same, but the hours are way different. And that appealed to me after I'd done a couple of commercial jobs, that I didn't feel like I was a zombie the day after a commercial job, but I did feel completely mentally drained and physically exhausted.
How does the time frame and the schedule change? What's the difference in the two for the uninitiated?
So for a typical wedding, I was invested with the couple probably for about 40 hours.
Over the weekend, the day before,
Just
and the day
that one wedding, that one event. So you have the consultation, which is an hour to 2 hours.
You're talking beginning to end of the
beginning.
Okay.
That one event, that one wedding, that one couple. That one couple has me for about 35 to 45 hours.
Okay.
For X amount of dollars. Now you take that X amount of dollars and take it into a commercial job. Say I want these 5 hats photographed for the manufacturer. The money is about the same. But you may be at that hat store or facility for 4 hours, not 40. And you can have a life again. You can have a free Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not all the time. I do work on weekends. But for the majority of the time, I started to realize I could make the same amount of money and have the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have, which was, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the movies with friends, or I want to go out to eat, or I want to go see this concert, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I just want to stay home on a Friday night in my Snuggie and eat Cheetos. I have the freedom to do that.
So what are you doing mostly now?
I would say fitness.
Okay, that's right.
I would say fitness for sure. I would sprinkle in some fashion onto that.
That went right in my drink.
Yeah. And commercial. I like the aspect of commercial advertising because a lot of times those people have a specific idea and they know exactly what they want to show. They just don't know how to show it. And that's where I get to come in and, like you said, flex the muscles to say, okay, well, here's your idea. Let's make it seen this way.
So, fitness, commercial, lifestyle, Greenville Fashion Week.
Yep.
No plug there, but Greenville Fashion Week. You became last year was the first year of this group starting this this company with this young lady starting. Yep. And this will be your second year. Talk about what you've done, what you're doing, what you've done with them. How did that happen? How has it grown?
So I was fortunate enough to be on the very ground floor of Greenville Fashion Week at its very start. And we got to do a lot of the behind-the-scenes imagery as well as the promotional imagery that are being used for advertising the event. And this year, I'm proud to say that I'm the lead photographer for it. And the show's going to be really cool this year. And I'm really looking forward to the event to come in April 24th through 27th.
Oh, is that when it's happening?
Yes, this April.
April 24th through 27th of 2019?
Yep.
Good to know.
In front of Courtyard Marriott.
Right in front of the Courtyard Marriott.
Downtown
Greenville. Show up if you want.
There'll be things happening.
Other people will be there. You won't be alone.
Nope.
So that's exciting for you, huh?
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
You like the fashion and the commercial stuff?
It's very much kind of what I'm focused on right now is the fashion. It's kind of like fashion meets commercial. And we do have a fitness line this year. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about that. But yeah, all the things I'm interested in are going to be happening.
Good thing we're not Marvel and it's not like a big secret.
I gotta go.
You also, not an abrupt segue. You're also you started a new venture, a new part of your creativity, a new part of your business recently with Stanton Fine Art. It's something new and different from anything else you've done prior.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done weddings, you've transitioned into fitness and commercial and fashion, and then Stanton Fine Art.
Right.
What is that?
That was more.
What is that about?
It's more.
I'm really not angry. It's okay. You can talk about it.
All right. One day I was painting just out of therapy and sanity, just to put some music on and just do something purely creative. That
Draw up a bath.
draw up a bath and light some candles.
Light some candles.
So Stanton Fine Art was a way for me to just have an outlet of creativity that was outside anything I'd ever done before. And I really love it. And it's incorporating paint and painting people and photography. And it's kind of like no limit. It's kind of whatever I want to do.
So you paint, you do paintings. Mm-hmm. You paint on different mediums.
Yeah.
And that's art.
That's art by itself.
And by on its own, yeah. So you paint a painting, it's done. You have a painting, right? And it's art.
Yep.
And then you make that noise too, don't you?
Probably.
Okay. And then you paint people, and they're a medium.
They're like the canvas.
Yeah, they're like the canvas. They're getting the paint on them, and then you take pictures of that medium instead of. You can't sell the people. That's illegal.
Can't sell the people.
Yeah.
But I need to create a visual from what's being created.
Yeah.
So the people actually have paint on them, and then we do anything from fluorescent paint to glow-in-the-dark paint to glitter paint. Sometimes all of it, and we photograph using one light or three lights or colored lights or black lights.
Yeah.
And just it changes the way the color looks on the person. And it's a really cool concept to say, I'm going to shoot this, and I can see it with my eyes, but when the light hits it and the proper camera settings hit it, it completely changes the way it looks and feels, and it creates this mood and depth, and it's beautiful. And I have it listed for sale, and I've sold 3 things. I kind of don't really care if it sells or not. If I have a piece for a while that doesn't sell, I could donate it to. There's a ton of fundraiser and charity events here, and people need silent auction.
Yeah, silent auction stuff.
Items. So I thought, if I'm sitting on a piece for a while and I want just to get rid of it, or I want to look at something different, then instead of painting over it, maybe what I'm doing could be part of helping somebody else. So here's the thing: if it raises $300 for you, great. That's great. So at that point, it kind of becomes one man's trash is another man's treasure, so to speak. But I just thought, I'm doing it for me, to get out some creativity and to do something that makes me a little bit uncomfortable, and hopefully other people will like it. And it turns out more people are into it than I thought.
Seems like there are a decent number of people that are into it.
Yeah. You should go to StantonFineArt.com to check out all the work.
And you can see all of this at StantonFineArt.com. Are you going to Vegas?
Yep.
Why?
I am going to Vegas this year.
You've gone a few years before.
Yeah.
You haven't gone recently, but you're going this year. What do you do there? What is it?
It's been about 5 years since I've been there. And I'm real excited because it's kind of like college for photographers. It's the biggest international photography convention.
So you're going to be there for 4 years?
No.
Oh, okay.
About 7 days.
It's like a shorter college.
It's like college, but condensed.
Uh-huh.
So every aspect of the photography business and photography itself is there. You want to learn about lighting? They got it. You want to learn about business and pricing? They got it. You want to learn about posing? They got it. So Vegas, Vegas. Well, I never go.
What was that again? I missed it.
Vegas, people think, I'm going to Vegas. They go,
Okay.
Vegas.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm going for continued education.
Uh-huh.
I've not been in about 5 years, and I really want to go to see new technology, new software, not even for image processing, but for business purposes, client scheduling, CRM tools, what techniques people are using with the technology that exists and what new technology is coming and that's already here that I may not know about that could be even more efficient.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go and see not only people and speaking, what they're passionate about, but some of the new things that will go on that might make my life easier.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That was like a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's just really cool to see other photographers from around the world that you've never met before, but you're instantly their friend because you're all there for the same goal. You're here for the camaraderie. You're here to learn. You're here to see the new things and experience it firsthand. It's just a week of goodness. It's good. It's a good time.
Feel it in your soul.
Yes, 2019 for me is year of education. I want to continue learning. I want to push myself to what makes me uncomfortable so that I can continue to grow and continue to evolve my skills and sharpen the things that I'm already good at and acquire new skills that I am scared of.
Which is awesome because, I mean, I think I can relate to everything. I mean, not only do I have a former, I'm looking around at equipment. I'm not just randomly looking around. I have a background in photography, and that was a big part of a career, a big hobby of mine. I kind of sold it away when I started doing clothing to buy food.
It's good to eat.
Yeah, I needed to eat, so I sold all my equipment. So I think I relate to you on that aspect of it, but I also relate to it on that just wanting to create more and learn more, just to be able to learn more, to expand what you're able to do and what you're able to do better. Because that kind of thing, learning more, to do more, is exciting.
Yeah.
In your profession, like for you in photography, and for me in doing clothing stuff, the more I get to create and try new things and do new things and share new things, the more exciting it is for me.
Yeah.
Which kind of relates directly to the podcast. Doing this to me is just sharing more.
And that's, I think, for me, learning more about what I do only helps me show my clients in a better way. It helps me to show them the best that I can show them. And it's kind of for you too. So the more you learn, the more you experience, the more you get to create, the better the fit will be, the better their look will be, and the better their comfort level will be, not only with you, but with what they're wearing. So I just think all the way around, education is the key to success. It doesn't matter if you're using a 40-year-old camera or a 4-year-old camera, learning all the aspects of it is crucial. And learning the manufacturer's construction techniques for a coat helps you understand why that measurement needs to be this way, because you understand the 360 view of, well, when they cut it like this, that means it's going to get stitched like that, and it's going to fit you like this.
Yeah.
So,
like I've talked to you before, talking about how each measurement relates to a different, like the bicep size to the armhole size to the coat, to the yoke size to the coat length, and how all things play together in putting together a garment, and that things need to be balanced in a way, and or to know how they relate to be able to create a fit that is desired.
Mm-hmm.
And just how that's one of the most exciting things to me has been learning all of those things over the last several years and how they all relate, and creating a fit that's better, because most people that do what I do take as little measurements as possible and do as little as possible, and it's just kind of like throwing mud at the wall. Let's see what sticks.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that, and continuing fabrics and how everything goes together. And I feel like I can spend the rest of my career learning more about fabrics and the correlations and different fits and different ways of fitting and different ways of solving people's problems.
That's another. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No.
that's another shifting point of how I got more out of weddings and more into what I'm doing now. Is the problem solving aspect really intrigues me.
You enjoyed that?
I enjoy there being an issue to overcome.
Yeah.
Not that there's issues with clients, but it's the fact that they can't create a mental picture, and I have to do it for them. And they say, "We have this thing, but we don't know what it looks like.
We want to create something
Please help us
with this ish."
Here's a tire, and go.
And go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Create a set.
Create a set.
Create a look. Create a style. And that's something. And to me, which is funny to talk about that, just because to me what I do is fairly natural and a lot of fun. And then I talk with some clients, and they point out to me that they can't do what I just did for them.
Right.
And that what I do is a skill. And I'm like, really? I just do it. Like, just do it. Like, I put this with that.
I'm just going to make you look awesome.
Go. And they're like, I could not, if you put this all down in front of me, I would not have come up with that.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that this would look as awesome. Like, this fabric would make this awesome. That would look this good on me. Or to put this button with it. And I'm always very flattered. And it's encouraging, because I think you could probably relate to, but like the doubt that comes into doing something that's creative, to where you put yourself into your work and then have moments where you're like, I suck.
Well,
I'm no good at this.
Everybody has ups and down moments. Everybody, regardless of what you're doing, you're going to put your vision into it and then go, oh, what if they don't like it? It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means that they have trusted you and given you the freedom to do the thing that you're supposed to be good at. And so then you realize that, it better be great. Which I kind of like that when I do that to myself, because then I go, okay, I got to make this awesome.
Yeah. That's as you were saying that, I was thinking, every time, there's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of anxious after every first-time client of putting something together for them, of what they're going to express the first time they put it on, and or what their reaction is going to be over the first couple times they wear it, because everything changes a little bit the first few times you wear it, and work with first time with a client, and especially something like that where there's a story where I wore it for my reception, and then that night I slept in it, and I'm like, hell yeah.
And that's
like a little.
Yeah, you got it. Well, yeah. I would like to know your experience with your first custom garment that you ever put on.
Oh, is that what you'd like to know about?
I would like to know.
My first introduction, my first experience with custom clothing was almost 7 years ago now. I bought one custom shirt one time from someone that I knew. Yeah. I knew this guy that for a brief period was selling some custom clothing. and he asked if I'd like to buy a shirt, and I asked what the price point was, and he gave me a range. It sounded good. I got a shirt, whatever. Didn't really know what to expect. Came in, I put it on, and when I put it on, it just blew my mind at how much better it felt. And then I walked in my closet, which I had to go past my mirror in my bathroom to get to my closet at the time, and I was like, man, that looks good. And I walked in my closet and looked at the rack of clothes there, and I just thought, wow, none of this fits as good as this shirt. 90% of it never leaves the hanger. I wear like 3 or 4 shirts all the time. This is just wasted money.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd rather spend a little bit more and fill my closet with stuff that I want to wear rather than stuff that I don't want to wear.
Yeah.
And I just thought, surely other people would want pizza.
Oh.
Surely other people could use this also. And so I went from that whole moments. I mean, all of that took longer to say than what I actually went through my brain. I walked through and it was like bam, bam, bam. I need to go, and I walked out and I went to the guy that I know and tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Connect me with whoever I need to be connected to get started doing this." And at the time, spoiler alert, he was the guy that sold me the shirt. And you were working with a company brand called J. Hilburn.
Mm-hmm.
And I got involved with them very quickly. Went through a training all day Saturday thing and just went ahead and jumped in and started getting my feet wet, exploring, learning, and for about 3.5 years, it was kind of a side thing for me for interest and fun and learning and exploring. And
it was a side thing for me too.
Yeah, you did it for a couple of years too.
Yep.
And after about 3.5 years, I got to a fork in the road, and I decided I wanted to do more. I wanted to be able to do better, more than just made to measure, do more customized, a little more bespoke type garments for people, and be able to take care of and fit more body types and more people better, men and women. So I kind of broadened and deepened at the same time eventually. And it's kind of just, for me, it's just been really a learning process the whole way through, and learning more, being able to do more and understanding more, from the very beginning of tapping you on the shoulder to say, I want to get involved, to now, and always trying to figure out what more is there to know.
Yeah. And that, for me, while I was doing it, I felt like I kind of had to say yes because my father was in the clothing world his entire life. And when the opportunity came to me, I said yes because it's in my blood. I love clothes. But at the same time, my photography career was reaching a point where I didn't have time to facilitate anything else. And I kind of helped you in J. Hilburn answer some kind of generic questions as far as fabrics and clothing is concerned, and how to measure and what equals what. And you took what I knew and what I had learned from my father and through J. Hilburn and just ran with it. You went 100 miles an hour. I think you were so intrigued with, what does this mill do? What is this fabric like? How does this measuring fit?
Why would you spend $250 on this shirt? Why would you spend more for this coat over this coat? Why is it better made here than here?
Yeah. But I love that you were really excited about that shirt, and you like you said, it blew your mind, and you could see it on your face, and I still have the picture.
Like, oh my gosh!
And you said, why doesn't everybody do this? Because some people don't know. If you've never done it, like you said, it fits me here and it fits me here, and but it's a trash bag.
And here, and here, and here. Yeah.
But it fits you everywhere. And that's what I love about the things that you do, is that you say, well, I want it to fit me here, but I also want room to move around. So, okay, well, I know how to do that. Like, you could play golf in it. You could sleep in it.
Mm-hmm.
You could play basketball in your navy blazer.
Sleep in it. You can run in
You
your
could jog
suit.
in it.
Yep. Actually, I ran in the suit tonight. When I left where I was like, man, it's cold. I'm going to move faster.
So you went from Jay Hilburn being part-time
Yep.
to what you're doing now full-time.
Yes. So, yep, I was with Jay Hilburn part-time. Was doing a few other things, and it was kind of one of those, it was just, everything came to an end.
Yeah.
There was a couple things in a row, and then I had 3 different men that are 30 years older gentlemen say, why don't you just do more of, like, just do what you're doing
Just
already and do
this.
more of it.
Yeah.
And at first I said, no, I don't want to. I want to ruin what I love with a paycheck. I really enjoy this. And around that time, that came to a fork in the road type place where I had to make a decision, and had that advice and met the owner of Cahaley's Custom Clothing, who our friend Jason had connected you with.
Yeah.
And I met with him, and about a month later, I called him back and finally kind of had our meeting, thought about it for a little while, and then after about a month said, all right, yes, I'm ready to do this. I'm going to go for it. And the main thing that I was willing and interested in doing that for was kind of like I started to say a little bit about being kind of made to measure and restricted with
Right.
body type and building things, and the tailoring companies and the people I would have access to with partnering with Cahaley's. They take the handcuffs off.
Right.
It was a little more towards bespoke than the more restrictive made to measure, to where I could fit all the body types,
Yeah.
and I could adjust a lot more things and have a lot more choices. And so started partnering with Cahaley's for that. I met with them and I just thought, okay, so someone can tell me jump and I say how high, and then we go do it.
Yeah, it really can make it truly bespoke where you are now, whereas you kind of had handcuffs from the other company.
Yeah, and it made sense for how they built, how that company was designed to be that way, because you're bringing in a lot of people that know very little,
Right.
and you need to make it easy for them to measure and order and fit, and people be happy and not have to do whatever. But with what I'm doing, it's more of more intense,
Yeah.
like just more focused, go deeper, and more detailed.
So, don't you agree that I think men in general gravitate to only a handful of items in their closet?
Yeah, because it's so hard to find multiple things that we like, because every brand and every different style all fits different. So you find something you like and get a couple of them, and then you can never find it again.
Yeah.
Even if you go to the same store, the same brand, it ends up fitting different. It's just not fun. So yeah, most men gravitate towards the color blue.
Yeah.
And most men just have a few items in their closet that they actually like, and that's the biggest thing. And whenever I work with clients, I usually warn them after they agree, like, yeah, it'd be great to have more items that I like than having stuff that I don't want to wear. But then I always will also warn them, this is going to become an addiction, because you're going to enjoy it and you're just going to want to keep doing it.
Yeah. I think I told you that.
Did you?
I think
I don't remember.
When that shirt came in and I was giving it to you, I want to say, because it happened to me when I got my first thing, I didn't want to wear anything else in my closet. And I think I remember saying to you, all right, I'm going to give this to you, but just be careful, because you might like it so much that you don't want anything else. And I think that's a common thing for somebody when they've never experienced something being custom made for them, is that reaction that go, oh my gosh,
this is what it's supposed to feel like?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not wearing a trash bag. And I remember you telling me something your mom said one time when you went home to visit and you were wearing one of your J. Hilburn shirts, and she said something to the effect of, "You can see the difference when you walk in the door."
No,
You can
I
actually
walked
see it.
I walked in the door. I remember I was wearing the red and white and navy check
Oh yeah.
shirt, which I think the girl I was dating at the time said it looked like a tablecloth or a picnic blanket. So I walked in. I don't care. I like it. I walked into my parents' kitchen, and my mom just before even hello. I walked in the kitchen. My mom said, "You can tell a difference when you're wearing one of those shirts."
That's awesome.
That was it. And I was like, "Yeah, you can. I know." And it really does. Anytime, it's so funny to me just because I know the difference that the right person measuring, fitting, and using the right source of materials and tailoring, there's no comparison. It's a complete different night and day. You walk in and people know you're dressed well.
Right.
But when you walk in and you've had all that done by the right person with the right materials, the right construction, people see it and they know. And they go, "Damn, that guy looks good."
What do you tell a first-time person that's kind of nervous? Maybe it's more expensive than I'm willing to or that I'm used to. How do you tell them to say, "Hey, don't worry about it," because you're going to become addicted to it because it's awesome.
So the biggest thing, and I actually thought about this recently, there's very little that I tell people. The biggest thing that I do to have someone trust and try and
Yep.
experience is ask them questions about what they currently do. And inevitably, there's a challenge. There's something that they don't like, that's
Right.
difficult or unpleasant. They hate what they're doing now. Almost everybody, "I don't like what I'm doing now."
Right.
Well, let me do it better for you. Like, let's do this, and you don't have to deal. I don't have to deal with that. Like, I don't have to deal with a shirt that's out here every time, or I don't have to deal with the sleeves always being, or the neck always being too. No, let me take care of it, and you will not have to deal with that. Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah. So after that first time, they come. They've been measured. They've picked out the fabrics. A few weeks have gone by, and their clothes are here. On your side of things, what's it like for you when you call that customer and say, "Hey, I have your things. I'd like you to come try them on. Let me see if we need to
We want to make any adjustments.
Make
Make sure we meet expectations.
What's your favorite part about that?
So that gets to the part that I can't describe or tell people. So they come in and they put it on, and they get to that moment that I have where your mind's like,
Okay.
and you're like so surprised and excited, and this is better than anything I've ever put on. Whether they've only shopped off the rack or they've shopped with other quote unquote custom clothing people that just have not been a great experience. They put it on and their eyes light, like mine did that day, but their eyes light up and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited." And I've had it happen with a couple of clients recently where I've kind of looked at them and I've said, "This is the part that I couldn't describe to you."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you couldn't." I said, "You had to feel this. You feel it right now." Like, "Yeah, I would not have, but no, I get it now." And they're like, "Oh," like they feel it. And you have to feel it. You can't just know it. Like, you have to feel it. It has to be put on you. And then you just go, "This is it. This is all I want to do." And then I tell people, kind of like you told me that one, "I'm sorry, I just gave you a new addiction."
I'm sorry, I just gave you your favorite hobby.
Yeah, this is a new addiction that is you're only gonna want to spend money on clothing this way from now on.
Yep. It's so true. And I love the fact that, so you've measured me, you've made me clothes before,
Uh-huh.
and I can text you at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday and say, I need a new blue shirt. I want a blue, sky blue, baby blue, blue herringbone, whatever.
blue.
I need a blue herringbone button-down collar with blue stitching. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yep.
And it's going to fit me exactly right. And you already have my credit card stored.
Oh yeah, and it's funny too because I'll have people tell me, like they'll come in and we'll do coats or pants or suits or whatever combination, and they're like, I don't really need any shirts. And then I say, really? Because I'm doing what I do right now because I bought one shirt.
Right.
Like, I love custom shirts. That's why I'm here in front of you doing this for you. And they're like, really?
Yep.
Like, yes. Okay, well, I'll try one.
Okay, I'll try one.
And every time, I had one client who had bought shirts from another national company, and he told me, like, no, I don't need shirts. I can get shirts off. Like, I can get them from wherever. It's fine. And I said, really? I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm doing what I do right now because I bought one custom shirt one time. Let me do one shirt. I didn't even charge him for the shirt. I said, just let me do one shirt for you.
That's awesome.
And we did it, and it was part of his order. And I followed up with him, and he was happy with everything, but didn't really say much else. This was like his second or third time doing stuff with me.
Okay.
And so there's just a shirt thrown in this time because I was like, come on, like we need to do a shirt. This is like our third time building clothes. You got to trust me by now.
Yeah.
And then 4 months later, followed up with him like, hey, how's it going? Questions, and do we want to do anything for this fall? And he said, yeah. I need to get together. And I said, oh, cool. What do we want to look at? So, I need some shirts.
Of course.
And and it was one of those things where I read the text and I was like, yes. I was right. Like he's excited about shirts now. Just because the other custom clothing company was using cheaper materials, cheaper construction, inconsistent construction, so he just wasn't happy with them.
Yeah.
But when it's done right with good materials, good construction, and someone that can measure and fit well, then it's exciting. Then it's that moment that I had where you put it on and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Everybody needs to have that moment.
Yes.
Everybody needs to know what it's like to have something made for you. Not somebody like you, but actually for you. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, like my favorite is when people put stuff on. Like we're in especially if they come into my shop, into our showroom, and they go in the back and they put everything on, and they put the shirt and the pant on, they come out, and I slide the coat on them, and we're standing in front of the 5-way mirror, and they're just like adjusting, and they start saying, wow, it feels like, and I always just say, feels like it was made for you. And I'm like, I know you don't want to say it because it's just too obvious.
Yeah.
I'll finish the sentence for you. It feels like, and I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here.
It's awesome. It really is.
It's just so good.
So you've been full-time custom clothes for close to 4 years?
Coming up.
Yeah. All right. So why should somebody choose you? Why should somebody, for their first or their 10th or their 100th, why should somebody come? That's a lot. Why should somebody come see you for their clothes?
Well, I would say they should come see me for a couple reasons. That makes me different. Well, for one, if you're buying off the rack, even if it's good quality off the rack stuff, if you're buying good quality off the rack stuff, you're spending as much as you could spend on having stuff made for you.
Right.
So go ahead and just come see me and have it made for you, and it'll automatically fit, regardless of how well something fits you off the rack and or adjusted a little bit. If it's made for you, it's going to fit and feel different. all the way down the line, like when you go from off the rack to the slightly made to measure to a little bit more detailed made to measure to a more bespoke, like everything feels better. And if you're already spending that money, just come have it made for you.
Yeah.
And then coming to me is a level of attention to detail and OCD-ness that my father unfortunately gave me. But I appreciate it. And that relationship and a passion. Like I care more, and from what I've seen in the industry as a whole, is I have a passion and more of a heart just to want to take care of people well, not just sell them as much stuff as I can, but to really take care of them well.
Yeah.
And always follow up, and just always thinking about how do I add more value? How do I take care of them better? And all clients and individual clients, and I'm better.
Well,
we'll make it simple and blunt.
Well, like I said before, it all comes back to people. Everything is people.
Mm-hmm.
The person that cooks the fries at McDonald's, those fries are going to a person.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is people. It doesn't matter what you do. So, and I've noticed that about what you do is that your care and your attention to detail, you value higher than the paycheck. And for some people that are in the same industry that you are, it's all about the numbers. It's all about how much money can I make and how fast can I make it. How much volume can I turn around?
It's turnover. Get it done.
I notice and appreciate with you is more, I'm going to see this one person. I've got 10 people calling me, but I'm with the client, and I want to see them through, and I want to give you my attention because I need to make this the way it should be made. Not the way I want to make it, but the way that it should be made for you, for your body type. That way, when you spend that $100, that $200, that $1,000, whatever it is, it's the best that you can get.
For that amount of money.
For that amount of money.
Yeah.
And I think that most people...
Everybody's at some point of whatever they can or will or do spend on their clothing. And to me, that's the way I want to get stuff for myself, is to get the best for what I'm spending.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah. So whether that's at the top, in the middle, at the start, like whatever level you need to be at, like you need to get the best for what you're spending. I mean, it's your money.
Yeah.
It's what you spend your time working to get.
Yep. Do you have a standalone favorite experience from the client standpoint? Do you have like one thing that stands out to you from their side?
I would think of two. Can I have two?
Well, I said one, but
no,
sure,
but
you can have two.
Two came to mind.
Okay.
So...
What's the first one?
The first one, it's such a tie. They're both there. Okay, the first one is a client, a young man that I did a suit and a tux for his wedding rehearsal and his wedding, in that order. And he wore the suit for the wedding rehearsal and the dinner and all the stuff, and got home that night and just went to bed in his suit and slept in his suit all night. And so after the wedding weekend, I texted him asked how everything went, how he liked everything, and he said, "Bro, my wedding rehearsal night, I slept in the suit." And I laughed and texted him back. I said, "Did you sleep in it or did you pass out in it?"
There is a difference.
And he said, No, I didn't have that much to drink. I slept in it. Like I laid down and just went to sleep in it because it was so comfortable. It was like wearing pajamas. And especially with it being that big of a like it's his wedding rehearsal and weekend, and for him to get that much pleasure out of it, like I just felt so warm and fuzzy. I felt so excited from his feedback. And the other favorite experience is I think I referred to it a little bit earlier here, was the client. It was a client that came in. He was referred to me, and he was excited from the beginning about everything he was doing. And he's actually a guy that he picked out a few suits and sport coats and whatnot, and no shirts. And I told the story like, this is why I do this, because I bought a shirt. Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll take 6 of them.
That is pretty good.
Went a little bit further, but sure, we'll do that. So he got everything, and then when it all came in, and we put on a suit with a shirt, like the one full outfit first, and he went in the dressing room, put on the pant and the shirt. He came out, I put the coat on him, and it was one of those things where he was one of the guys that was standing there going, "It just feels like it was made for you." Yes. And I'm like, I see his eyes just huge, like so excited, and I said, see that? I couldn't tell you how excited you'd be. And he said, no, it's so much better. Like, I know. I couldn't, but you know now. He said, oh yeah, I know, I can tell the difference now. Yeah. And that was a more recent one that was like a favorite experience. I couldn't have described this to you. You couldn't told me. I wouldn't have believed. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And that was exciting.
That happened to me with a jacket that you made me. It was a blue sport coat with the brown window pane in it, and I wore it to a fancy birthday party, and I had several people.
People's pinkies were out at the party when they drank things.
Pinkies were up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one guy who's now a client of yours say, "Man, are you trying to make everybody else in here look bad?" And I said, "What? What do you mean?" And he said, "Look at this," and started touching the lapel and poking at it and saying, "This is amazing. What? I don't understand. What does not compute?" And I said, "Oh yeah, thanks. I had a guy make it for me.
I got a guy.
It's no big deal." But he was so interested, and multiple people during that party approached me and told me various compliments about the way I was dressed and the way that it looked on me. And not only that, but the fabric itself just has a luxury about it. It has a sheen to the way that it's made that looks different. And it's the funny thing about that is it's not an astronomical price tag. It's just a better quality fabric. And after having it, there's a huge difference between going to the mall to shop for something that's my chest size, which is real close to the same amount of money, versus having something made for you with better fabric. So I love that story because 2 of those people are now your clients.
Yeah.
Because my rebuttal to that comment was, "Oh, I know a guy.
I got a guy.
I know a guy.
There's a guy.
He could do a thing."
He's in downtown Greenville.
But it was so funny, and we laughed, and he paid a huge compliment, and I took it more so for you than I did for myself because I didn't do anything but put it on.
Yeah.
But it
feels good when you're wearing something like, man, you look good. Thank you.
Yeah, you just go, hey. You're like, thanks. Let's switch it. Wearing that jacket to that party got me a client.
Yeah.
Which I now have a long-standing relationship with them, and we do multiple things together. That also led to something coming back to you to where you now have a new client who's brought you several people, and it's cool how that works. Where I didn't go in there advertising, use Chris, he's the best.
Everybody do this.
But it's just that what you do and the materials that you use are so good that people can't help but notice, and I just think that's awesome. So when you have somebody that comes in that just wants a root basic garment, say it's a shirt, do you find yourself going,
I don't want to do this. This is the most basic thing I could possibly do. What are you wasting my time for?
Oh,
This is
no.
not challenging me at all.
Just another shirt.
Or do you still have that same excitement that, oh man, this is this person's first thing? I can't wait to see how they react.
I'm
Like,
gonna
what do you
blow
think?
their mother mind.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think, all right, well then let's do it. Because I know that at the end, you're going to become a person who loves custom clothing. I will not allow someone to leave. You will not leave unhappy. I won't let it. I don't like that.
All right.
You have to leave excited. So
Good to know.
I make sure I have to. Otherwise, I feel like I've failed.
Failure.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Not a good feeling.
I don't want to be a failure.
No.
I don't want to fail again. The way I think about it is, I need to take care of everybody because otherwise they might go to someone that's not going to take good care of them. So I need to get to them. They need to be connected to me so I can make sure they're taken care of well.
So you've been doing custom clothes for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Full the time.
Full
all the time.
Full of all the time.
Yep.
What goal do you have for the next 4 years? In the next, let's say 5 years. In the next 5 years, what would you have liked to accomplish?
More people.
Seeing more people?
Seeing more people, yeah, because, I mean, and it's a two-edged sword, so doing it, actually, doing it is better for me financially, which is always a goal, and you always want to do more and make more money, and but I want to be taking care of people every day. And I would like to see people every day. Right now, my business comes from referrals, word of mouth, and cold calls, and constantly reaching out to people, trying to find people I can take care of. And I would just like to take care of more people. I would like to make more people have those mind-blowing eureka moments of this is better than anything I've ever done. And I'm happier than I've ever been with my clothes. And I have a question, I'm going to text or call Chris.
Right.
I want to take care of more people. That's my goal. It's very simple. More people, more relationships, more mind-blowing experiences.
Well, so I developed a client that lives in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And that came about randomly. We had such a great connection that I just knew that this is one of the people Chris needs to meet. If it goes no further than this one person needs to be measured by Chris, have products made by Chris, and just interaction for life experience for both. Him to you and you to him.
Yeah.
And I love that a photography client transitioned into a clothing client.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that happen because it's just people that are passionate about what they do is evident and you can't hide it.
Yeah.
And I think it really shows when you look at a customer of yours, your passion shows physically on them. Because every person I've ever seen you dress looks like a rock star. They look like a movie star.
Yeah, sometimes they don't play instruments, but yeah.
I'm behind the camera a lot, so a lot of people don't see me. But Chris has made me some awesome clothes. Just saying.
And that I really do. I really enjoyed meeting Boyd, our friend. Our Michigan friend. That was an awesome trip, awesome family, awesome dude who's passionate about what he does.
Yep.
And has created a relationship that I've really enjoyed. And that's kind of, what's one of the things that's important to me is to make sure, follow up, make sure people are happy, fix anything that's wrong, have a relationship that lasts. And sometimes it involves more interaction. Sometimes it's just some clothing interaction occasionally, but just that there's that relationship there. Because I mean, like you said, regardless of anything that ever happens forever,
It's
business
people.
always is between people.
It's people. It's all people.
And clothing, and I'd say photography too. It's a personal experience.
It's very personal, yeah.
I mean, most of the time when I get to know a client, I get to know that all about their life, their family. A lot of times I meet their families. I spend time around them and their kids. I've had clients bring their kids into the store, and that flatters me beyond belief that they feel comfortable
to bring
their kids to be in my environment.
So I hope in the next 4 years you get to reach more people.
More people, nationwide, all the people.
What is your favorite thing to make for somebody? What's your favorite thing to do? Garment-wise.
My favorite, I have a soft spot in my heart for custom shirts because that's what made the biggest impact on me. But I'm in growing and learning and doing what I've done. I've learned to make coats really well, and I really love a coat made to fit you. Like, I enjoy it, so I want, you need to wear this.
You need a coat.
You need one.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I mean, the more I learn about everything, the more I want to give someone an experience they've never had. So I want to give them a coat, a shirt, and a pant, and have them try all three things to put on one of everything that fits different, better than they've ever done before. So they can just be like, oh my gosh, my brain's going to explode. I feel so good right now. I'm really excited
About
our episodes coming up in front of us.
Oh.
The people we'll be talking to.
Yeah.
The interviews we'll be having. The list of topics and people that are in front of us.
Right.
Like having an episode on watches.
It's a beer list, Chris. You can be excited about that too.
I like beer lists.
I know.
Watches, hats, jewelry, women's clothes, different types of women's clothes, jeans, food.
You've made women's clothes.
I have. I've made some clothes for women.
Just so you know.
That's what women's clothes are. Shoes, different kinds of shoes. Really excited about what we will be doing and having these conversations and sharing them with those people.
Yeah. That's you guys.
I think you'll really enjoy. I think people will really. I'm going to enjoy. Actually, I don't care if you enjoy. You should.
You should, whether you do or not.
Well, in fact,
That's up to you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do more.
It'll be fun. And kind of like what we said earlier, the other time,
Right.
About promoting other people that maybe don't promote themselves as much or don't promote certain aspects of their life. I mean, certain people I can think of that they do social media, but they don't necessarily promote certain things that way.
It'll be amazing. So we'll do it. So stay tuned for more.
Who? What?
Who did what now?
How to who?